is. Like I had, like it's like technology. I got it all over the place, and I have to make sure that this particular computer is the host, so I can actually do my recording.
Yeah,
But I want to go back to what you just said there in regards to making sure that our leaders, we understand that the people that are leading are people.
yeah, yeah. Well, and I was saying, like in my book, Seven Ways to Love, I wrote it from an intimate standpoint. But then as I go and I speak to it there, when I talk to companies and employees and leaders, the importance of loving up,
Uh-huh.
because so many leaders accept the position for their own reasons, whether it was their definition of success, so moving up the ladder, whether it was, hey, this is where the money is, this is where the security is. And some people don't even want the position, but I feel foolish not to take it. How do I go home and say I didn't accept more and a different lifestyle and everything that we want or need or think we need?
Yeah.
So I'm moving up. So, and then with that, you wind up getting more salary, you get more power. Hopefully your ego, your elevation doesn't elevate your ego, but all of a sudden now we got 200 plus more emails in a day. We have numbers that we got to meet from here. We got the gripes from below. We have the people who are leading who don't see the bigger picture. So you're always selling to in some fashion. You got a desk that you can't pile out of. God forbid you take a vacation and then come back to all of the things that you missed. So it's so stressful, and nobody's really loving up on these guys or patting them on their back. And it's such a tough position to be at, especially for somebody who may not have wanted to be there or been good at the leadership position to be there.
Okay, wait a second. I'm totally unorthodox, so forgive me. Is that a globe behind you?
It is.
I need you to ship that to me, like right today. Right
Well, I tell
today.
you something
I
important
swear
about
we've been
this
looking for
globe.
that. Say that again.
My wife built this cigar room for me, so I'm honored to be able to speak to you from my own personal cigar room. My
Oh,
wife has built for
wow.
me, and that globe is also a bar. You open it up, and it's
Ah,
a bar.
my in-laws is just in town, and his mother's best friend, my husband's mother's best friend, was here with us, and she was saying that she has one. I was like, I'm gonna have to start looking for that. Like, I was like, I'm gonna have to, because I want one. I
It
haven't.
is. It is
I
such
want
an awesome piece to have. Like I love it as furniture, and then open it up and be able to enjoy some
one.
nice beverages of whatever you enjoy. Not a bad thing either.
Nice. I
So,
like that. Nice beverages. But I'm sorry. That just totally just grabbed my eye
hey,
there.
I love it.
My bad. But I want to go back to the leadership here. So, and I know, obviously, I know, I mean, we don't necessarily have to get into your entire history, but I know we've kind of spoke, or I've heard, excuse me, I know you've personally spoken about your past and dealing with the corporate world. So we both have seen firsthand how exactly what you're talking about in regards to people accepting these roles, how it works. Like, and we're not the only ones. I mean, several people do that. So my question for you at this time is, how in the hell, how do we get people to understand that there is a better way, like before they accept all of the responsibilities that it comes along with that position? How do you get them to understand that there's a better way, there's a better method of being able to achieve their happiness or achieve their personal level of success? How can we get them to understand that before they accept that new role?
I tell you, I have two answers for that question. One is the power of questions. So many times we're focused on the right answer that we forget the power of a great question. And I love, when I used to have staff, I used to hire people based on the questions they asked. So one of the things from a leadership
Like in an
standpoint,
interview, you mean?
anytime.
Oh,
So
okay.
the questions that they ask, whether it's in an interview or in casual conversation, that shows an inquisitive mind, and they usually have these eyes that are like vacuums that are soaking in information. So the power to ask a great question, and as leaders or companies, we fail to answer these questions when we know, okay, well, why do you want the job and all these different things, but what is it that you want to get out of this experience moving up? Why is it that you really do want to move up? How can we help you develop as a leader and not just a director or a manager or somebody that's going to be given? Because now we're starting talking about personal leadership. I want people who I would promote, or people who to be in charge, be leaders in and of their own lives. Means they are taking care of other areas of their lives and great and happy and fulfilled in those areas, not just in the promotion that they just got, because it makes it easier for people to want to follow you because they like and enjoy and respect how you are. Then you can add in the hard leadership skills. Otherwise, you just have employees or people following somebody because that's the job. They can hate their job. You know, and some people I do something called the Leader 7. And with the Leader 7, and this is the second part of my answer, is being able to connect with people. The Leader 7 says that there's 7 languages that your employees or followers are going to speak, that they want to hear, need to hear, and benefit most from hearing. And we do a poor job of preparing the people who did one thing really well. We want to appreciate them. We now move them up, but they don't know how to connect with people or lead people and promote a positive culture. And typically, when you move that person up that did that one thing really well, for instance, it helps to put it for instance, you sell $1 million worth of product, now you're going to train salespeople. Well, typically, you're going to train those people to do it the way you did it. And if they do it differently from how you did it, then they're a cog, they're a problem, or you struggle to connect with them. So what I would do is, one, get to the real reason of why they want to move on. What's their vision for it? How does it align with your vision and your mission statement? Have they ever been in leadership positions before, even if that was leading their high school team or their college team, or what was their experience with leadership? What was their biggest failures in leadership? What did they learn most? And then here, let's learn a language that's going to allow you to connect with other people. You know, because otherwise we're just sending them to the wolves. Go direct, go manage. And maybe they're good at it, maybe they're not. Now you could have people, and there's 5 different types of employees. You're going to have the inspired and motivated, you know, but it takes some skill. You get somebody inspired and motivated, you better be a good leader, because they're going to, you know,
they can get burnt out very quickly.
Yeah, like whenever I had somebody that was inspired and motivated, I used to be a therapist, right? I was a mental health therapist for 19 years. Whenever I had somebody that came in and was ready to work, I'm ready for the change I said I wanted. Well, I better be on my game.
Yeah.
You know, I can't be a bad leader and work with the inspired and motivated. You know, so you're going to have them, you're going to have the grouches, you're going to have the steady rivers, you're going to have the people that are here or not there. This is just a job. I left a dental plan, you know what I mean? And then you're going to have the new people, the new people that they're new and unknown. So you got 5 different types. How you lead your life personally and how you connect with them, now you can collectively make an impact on everybody, not just the person you enjoy the most, the type that you enjoy the most. And, you know, when I'm talking to leaders, which 2 of these 7 do you resonate with the least? That's an important concept that people fail to realize. See, you know, I'm a big flexibility and respect person. So anybody who is flexible and, you know, and really wants knowledge or speaks my language that's easy for me, I'm all over them. That's the employee or whomever I really love the best. Now, when I was a young man and I brought home all A's to my mom, and I asked my mom for more allowance money, a gift for doing it, my mom looked at me and said, boy, I don't pay you to do what you're supposed to do. So therefore, the language of incentives and rewards, they don't even pop up in my mind first. They are the last thing to pop up in my mind. But what if that's the first thing that pops up in somebody else's mind, you know? So for me, when I had employees, I needed to know, one, you know, is this something that you care about? And with my Leader 7, I'll already know. So then that's how I speak it, casually and in those tough times. So to answer your question, one is we got to get a better why of people why they want to move up. And remembering that these leaders, managers, directors, whatever we call them, are people too. Yeah. They have some fears and anxieties and frustrations and real life things happening as well. Absolutely. Now, I worked with one woman, or was talking with her, and she went from being the director of HR to now the vice president of something, you know, so it was really big everything, right? Yeah. Well, her concern was more of, well, I was supervising people, managing people that were on the entry level. Now I'm supervising and leading leaders. What's that like? Yeah. So, yeah, we forget that our leaders are people too. And how do we constantly reinforce not only their numbers and production, but them as people, their concerns, celebrate their victories. And you do something great, now it's expected and 50 times more. They got a lot of pressure.
Consistently. I got you. Now, okay, so the 7 is the Leader 7 or 7 leaders?
The leader 7.
The Leader 7. Now I know that's the 4th book.
That is the 4th book. I call it I have 4 books out. Mm-hmm. However, the first 2, I count because they're my babies, but I wouldn't count them to the world, you know?
Okay.
So I had a print, when we were only on college campuses and we were strictly voluntary, hey, because I was a college athlete and I went to college and I almost partied my way out of there twice. I had a freaking ball, you know? I had a great time. However, and I got in my fair share of trouble too. I came from inner city Philly, and I was noted as aggressive when I got to college. But I was the good kid in my neighborhood.
Okay. So I'll take your word for it.
I wasn't always Mr. You evolving now, you know? So I never wanted to stop working on a college campus because there were so many people who needed it. I needed it. I didn't need punishment. I needed guidance, so I wanted to do something there. So long story short, when somebody would come and we would do our forums there, they would get a t-shirt and a book. So that book wasn't officially published, it was printed. So I had 2 books. Then the officially published ones was called Evolve. And it's a compilation of quotes and questions. I always wanted to be able somebody to pick it up anywhere and walk away better. And then the questions in with, do you know your partner's answer? Do you know your kid's answer? Because we got to live outside of ourselves, not just us. The power of questions. The second one is, or the 4th one, depending on how we're counting, is 7 Ways to Love. The newest one coming out in the spring is 7 Ways to Lead. And the last portion of that book will be the Leader 7 as well. So it's coming out in the spring. I'm so excited about it because it's 4 leaders from how do you live your life personally and be a leader in and of your own life with the hard leadership skills daily to do so, whether it's at your company and in your personal life as well.
So you have the books, you have obviously the knowledge, or I should say the in-depth knowledge of what it means to be a leader and the difference between a leader and a manager. Mm-hmm. And your 19 plus years in the mental health industry. So all of this combined in your personal, RAM or your personal journey of all of this, what has probably been the most common thing that you have seen across all of this? Because obviously you've been from one end to the next, from being a speaker and motivating others and from the youth to working with adults. Like there has to be something that's a common theme between all of this. Am I wrong?
The common theme, there is a common theme because my content doesn't change, whether I'm working with high school, college, employees, executives, it doesn't matter. What I know is that people are people. The common theme is that people are people, regardless of their title. As different as we look, as much money as you make or don't make, people are all people, and they are all doing the best they can for who they currently are with what they currently know. And the common theme is that most people only have one singular linear definition of success. If I ask somebody, typically, and this is why I do it in high schools and colleges, when I ask them, hey, what's your definition of success? Where do you see yourself in 5 years, whatever it is, they all tell me the job they think they want that they're currently studying for. That's it. They have no idea that once they get it, you might only stay in it for 5 years, and then you have changes, you have mergers, you have downsizes, you have lack of interest, you have family, all of this other stuff. It's so linear. And then when you ask adults, when I was a therapist, men typically, and this anytime you say every or all, you're wrong, okay? Typically, men would come in and say, well, I work all the time. I don't understand what the problem is. While in marriage counseling and their partner not there. Marriage hanging on by a thread, life is crazy, but work is good. I'm successful. And then women would come in contrastly, and not every or all, but women would come in and say, well, my life revolves around the kids. I don't understand what the problem is. Again, marriage hanging on by a thread, work might be good, all of that stuff, but you're a great mom. All about to go through the destruction of divorce, unhappiness, unfulfillment, and you think that don't go into work? So either you're going to bury yourself in work and get better, quote unquote, better at work, because it's the only thing that's going good. It's the only thing you can count on until it's taken away. Yeah. So what I learned is that people are people doing the best they can with who they currently are, with what they currently know, and the 4 Ps matter, because if we are doing great and leading our best lives as people, partners, parent, and professionals, I call those the 4 Ps, that will trickle on into work, and then that will trickle outside of work. And there's 5 points of the day. I tell everybody, if you could do these 5 points of your day and maximize that and be positive and intentional about what you do and what you consume when you first wake up, when you get to work, your midday, when you return from work, and before you go to bed, that's your 5. You dominate those 5. You're intentional about those 5. You're positive about those 5. Hard to fail.
Yeah.
Hard to have bad days. You can have hectic days. You got days you'd rather stay in bed.
Character building days.
Character building days. But so that's been the commonality, because my content hasn't had to change. There's some wording here or there that that would change here or there. I just did a how to manage change, and I break down the acronym of change. The change that you want or think you want at work, and the change you don't want, because it's all going to happen.
Yeah.
So the company you were just mentioning, like going through changes and mergers and all of that, change going to happen. It's the only thing that's inevitable, but always seems to shock the heck out of us every time.
Which I do not understand for the life of me. I'm just like, you are not the same person that you were last year. You're definitely not the same person you were 10 years ago. Why the hell is this surprising? Like,
right.
Why?
Right. And I mean, you could change bosses, you change employees, you change this, you change that. How do we stay positive and growing throughout that? And then I kind of go through that for leaders and employees. It's stressful and hard on everybody. And at the minimum, it's going to be anxiety producing.
Yeah. I love your passion. Like, I mean, you can hear it, you can feel it. Like, I mean, I'm loving it. I freaking love it. Dang it, you made me forget my damn. Oh, that's what it was. Okay, I almost forgot my question. So, but most of the tips that you're bringing up right now, they're practical. They're, at least it sounds so simple. I don't understand. I don't understand why people are not using them more often. I don't get that.
I think I could tell you that.
Please. Because I want to, like, I'm trying to steal this information from you. I want to go back and help some people.
Well, I tell you, one thing, I like to make what I do practical, and like the Leader 7, I do like to make it easy, because if it's not easy, you're not going to do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. 2
reasons that people stay the same or don't do something. One is because we're creatures of habit. We're creatures of habit. Whatever you've been doing, and I just wrote about this, it's called The Leader's Pacification. It just came out on Friday. It's on my website and on the app. So if you bring an employee in, let's just go back to work for a second. If you bring an employee in and you have somebody show them the ropes, hopefully they're good and they're showing them the ropes the right way, but you don't know. They could be showing them shortcuts or how to get around. You never, right? However you start off showing them is what they're going to want to do forever, typically.
Okay.
They just didn't know that it was the wrong way, but it was the way they were taught. You start a relationship. What's done in the beginning is expected in the middle and the end. So we got to be very mindful about how we're bringing people in. So most people are willing to stay the same just because it's habit. It's what they've done. And it's easier doing what I've done than doing change. And that's just how it is.
Yeah.
The other reason, number 2, is that people, especially in our Western culture, we will let busy beat us. They talk about bullying in school and all that stuff. They don't talk about it with adults. But busy will bully us more than anything else. We're so busy being busy, we forget to be better. We all know what we need to do, but I'll go to a fast food restaurant because I'm freaking busy.
Yeah.
So I don't, but so it's the same thing with everything else. We're so busy being busy, and what we struggle to do is really put our life and the things we need to do in our phones. We're already on these, and we just talked about technology. Okay. My business is all in my phone. Is my wife? Are my sons? Is my daughter? Is the gym? I have goals. I have a vision for my life and my lifestyle. And my definition of success is not linear. Okay, I have my business definition, I have my husband definition, I have my dad definition. So being able to live that, but I need to put it in here. So whatever my vision is, I got a weekly goal board. These are my goals for the week. Going to the gym 3 times a week is on there because I'll let busy beat me. And then I don't like how I feel, and then that comes out in how I act. And that's just how it is, So I put that on there, and then that dictates my daily action. And I need to put this in here with alerts. Now I have to force myself to ignore it. I have to force myself to ignore it. Now, most will, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But even if you pay attention to it and do it 1 out of 10 times, is one more time than you've done it before.
Dude, I don't know what is going on. Like, I'm loving it right now. Like, I have like simple alerts throughout my day, and they are completely at random. Whether it is for me to shut up and listen to what the universe is telling me, whether it's to shut up and listen to, stop listening to the negative self-talk, or there's just so many different alerts. And so I have sticky notes on my mirror in the bathroom, sticky notes in the car, like around the gears, because I need the consistent reminder of whatever that thing is that I'm focusing on until I get past it. Like, I need that. I need it. Like, there's no one else that's going to do it for me. I totally need that. And speaking of you being a dad and the new baby, I saw one of your old interviews talking about your wife being pregnant and you not wanting to cook. How did you get through that? What did you end up doing? I'm just curious.
I'm sorry. My wife being pregnant and I what?
Not wanting to cook.
Oh man.
Yeah. How did you get through that? What happened?
I haven't. You know what I did? What I do is I know me. And how I get through something is, one, we got to know ourselves.
Yes.
And is what we're expecting from either our partner or ourselves reasonable, doable, and fair for who we know they are and I am.
Yeah.
So therefore, this is what I did. I hate cooking. I hate it with a passion. Not to mention running a business all day. My wife works all day. Then when we come home, I have kids that need to go other places. So I'm like Ubering them around to their basketball, some an hour away. So the opportunity to cook is really hard. So what my wife and I did is this. On Sunday evenings, we as a family participate in cooking a bunch of different meals, a whole lot of food.
Oh.
So that way it gets the kids off their phones. It gets us all in one space. It gets us doing something hands-on. In a different way. And hopefully that tradition winds up being passed on to their kids. During the week, I hate cooking so much, I will go and buy a meal where we can go out. And that's going to be, that's more reasonable, realistic, and fair for who I am and what we're going to do. It's my wife out, we get the date, and that's just the compromise right there. I hate it. I hate it.
That's totally where I was going with that. My husband and I went, and because we both hate cooking too, and then we're extremely, extremely busy. His career's taken off, and mine is doing its own thing, and it's just been outrageously crazy. But thank you. It's been interesting. It's been a roller coaster ride, but in a good way. But one thing we found, and they do not sponsor me whatsoever, but HelloFresh is freaking amazing. I'm like, it comes on Sunday, and we only do like 2 to 3 meals a week, but it's exactly what you just said. It's an opportunity for us to get rid of our phones. Whatever's going on at work, we'll deal with it tomorrow, or we'll deal with it once we're done. It was amazing time, and I was definitely going to suggest that to you, but obviously you've already done it. So
sometimes, like you mentioned, like people don't make the positive changes or put things in, is because we're doing things that are just not in my want to zone. Like I already don't want to do it. So to do it in a way that doesn't make sense for me to, like, if you want to work out and you want to lose weight, but you hate the gym, then you're punishing but you rather go to the mall and you like window shopping, then take your laps around the mall, get your steps in the mall, do something like that that's just going to make sense for who you are. Yeah. I wouldn't put unrealistic expectations of what I want or what I think I need on my wife and demand her to give it to me.
Yeah.
So if I wouldn't do it to her, I don't do it to me. But I do something that's healthy enough and in my wheelhouse of want to, because that's the one thing. We could talk all day about the things that leaders can do and should do at work and in our personal lives, but nobody can give you make yourself do itness. You got to want to do it. You got to want to do it. A client years ago when I was a therapist, if you don't want to, my first session wasn't about the issue. What are you here for? What do you want to get out of this experience? Have you had therapy before? What did you think about it? Be honest. My shoulders are broad. I can take whatever you feel about it. You know, what did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? How do you want this to be? On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you want to change? If at all.
Yeah.
Because we can, if at all. And if you do, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your willingness level? You might want to change at 8, but your willingness to do something about it right now is a 3. Okay, great. Now we know. And this is how we can start slow since you don't want to, but you're here. So what do you want to get out of it? Same thing with us.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm not to, totally not to name drop because I really know what this is, but I interviewed Dr. Dennis Kimbrough last month. And I was speaking to him about how I'm really kind of disappointed in our leaders. And he says he's actually working on the book now too, but dealing with leadership. And he said, he was like, Jimmy, there's different types of leadership. There's different levels to leadership. And he said, what you're looking for is an Obama-style leader, a leader that's going to step up and that's going to take command, to take control and make a definite impact. He was like, but all leaders are not that way. And he's like, you have to understand, and which is what his book is about, is if we knew the beginning stories of those leaders, we never thought that they would have become leaders. And so he was speaking about, hello? So I was like, but just to wrap it back around, like it's being able to accept, have conversations with people right where they are. And it's something I'm working on. It is so difficult. Trust me, I just found out about this last month. But it is something I am working on so harshly. And but so to hear you say similar things of what you're doing or what you've done in a therapy lesson is trying to get to where that person is right there, like where they are today, and then building on that. And so, but anyway, I love that. It's my whole point of saying all of that. And so, but anyway, so what is your definition of success and leadership? Like, what the hell does that look like for you, Andre Young? Like, what does that look like?
Well, a few different words. One is we want to make an impact. We want to have influence. We want to protect, and we want to build. From an influence standpoint, from an impact standpoint, let me start with impact. When I leave someone, or you leave someone as a leader, whether it's 30 days, a year, 20 years, will you be significant in when they look back in their life? Is there something that they remember of how you were that made them want to be better, or that they admire? When you walk into a room, or you ever been somewhere, you've been networking, whatever it is, and somebody walks into a room and you say, ooh, who is that? I don't know what they do or who they are, but they're somebody. They immediately make you curious. They immediately make you want to follow. And then when you see that on a day in and day out basis, that's impact. And it's something that you might have said, or how you are, or what you did. So impact. Influence. Can you influence people to be better than to be what they want to be what they don't even think that they're capable of? Can you? One thing that I do on leadership, and I had a guy share this with me, and I said, can I please steal that? Because, and Mark Owens, if you're out there, he is a coach. He's actually a basketball coach. He was so significant. He made such an impact on me with this one little thing. Okay. So from an influence standpoint, do me a favor, Jimmy, raise your hand. Now raise it higher. That's leadership. That's coaching. Because from an influence standpoint, some people are going to raise their hand low, some people are going to raise their hand high, but no matter where they raise your hand, can a great leader influence you to raise it higher? That's it right there. My son, I take him to a personal basketball coach, okay? It is very atypical for you to practice and move the same way you would in your driveway than when that coach is in front of you. Absolutely. When that leader is in front of you. You're going to move a little harder. You're going to do that. It's hard to push yourself to that level all the time. So can leadership do that? And can you influence them to do that when you're not around? So protection. I worked in some organizations, and one place I thought I would retire from. I loved the job at that time. Organizationally, things changed, and we were the least protected people on the planet. I mean, we were guilty until proven innocent.
You mean what, within the organization?
Within the organization. Yeah. It was just awful. So can we protect our people sometimes from themselves? Yeah. And can we protect them from the other things or customers or all of these different things? That whole customer's always right. Bull crap. No, they're not. No. They're not. So every now and then, just like there has to be a landmark fire, sometimes we have to do some landmark protection of our people because they're people. Yeah. So being able to protect. I when I do this for high schools, I usually lead with this story. I went to Philly. All my family's down there, and I'm driving. I see this little boy, hurrying after his mom. He could have been no older than 3 years old, and he's crying, and the mom is just letting this boy have it. And I got my windows up. I don't even know what she's saying. I don't want to hear what she's saying. I felt so awful for this little boy that could not protect himself. Yeah. Okay? That little boy becomes your student. Mm-hmm. That little boy one day is going to be sitting in your class, unprotected all his life, and then here you are beating him up more about this and that, and this and that. And then that same person that was sitting in that seat is going to get a job one day. Mm-hmm. How he or she has seen the world, you have no clue. You might be the first person ever that spoke kind words, spoke their language, gave a crap about them, protected them. So being, protection.
Oh, you're gonna make me cry.
You don't know somebody's story. God. You don't know somebody's story.
Andre, I just had a conversation with, because I'm big on this, and I love my team. They support me like never before. And I sent an email out to all of them, just asking them about appreciation. Like, what do you appreciate most about your team member? Just pick one. Send it to me in a side email. So everyone sent everything back except for one person, and that particular person stated that she did not appreciate them. So of course my red flags went off. I sat down with her and did a one-on-one conversation with her just to kind of see where her mind was. And the question was asked, like, what was the last time someone appreciated you? The last person was me.
Wow.
I said, so outside of me, who else? No one.
Right.
So it was like, what about your family? She was like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Your husband, kids, what about childhood? Like anything? She was like, no. Wow. I was like, and when I say, I was sitting there and I was just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I was like, I've worked with her for years.
Yeah.
Like, she's been on my team for years. And I was like, I feel horrible. I never knew any of this.
Right.
But just to have back to your point there, I'm like, you never know someone's story. You never know their beginning. And in that moment, you know what I mean? In that moment of that kid, I mean, that is extremely fearful. Because that kid was an adult.
It hurt my soul to watch it. It hurt me, especially doing what I do and speak how I'm big on language.
Yeah.
Big on language. And you tell a lot about somebody by the language they use. And I don't mean the curse words and things like that, but the other language, just the regular everyday language that people use. And I look at some bully words that we all use. But, if, can't, try, just, only, should, deserve. Those are trigger words for me. The last one that you have mentioned about is building. How do we build this person up? But are we building them up the way we want, we're guessing, or that we know? I said, tell me what you think. I want to know what you know. And the Leader 7 makes it so easy for us to know. All you're doing is sliding them a piece of paper. I made it so simple where you can send it in the email. They have to pick a top one or two. They have to. Now you know how to speak everybody's language that's there. So maybe the woman on your team, maybe she would have picked recognition and affirmation and respect. Maybe she would have picked those. Maybe she would have picked something else, but you would have known it. So now you get to speak it that way. Instead of finding out by happenstance or years later, or you never know what's going on. Find out their language, and then as the CEO or the top dog, you don't have to know everybody's. I mean, it's helpful, but it's hard. I mean, that's
absolutely
hard. But all of the leaders know their pockets of people. I said, you can laminate this thing, stick it right on your desk, however you choose to do it. Now, pick one or two people to do it with a week, one person a day to speak it casually to. You don't think that makes a difference?
It does. It really does. It makes a major difference.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's amazing what people are going through and what kind words, but more importantly, the words they want to hear, need to hear, and benefit most from hearing from you are. Like, and we have that. We could do that. This is simple. It takes 30 seconds. I say when I do the executive coaching, I sat down with one gentleman, and he has a team of people that he's leading, and he's a big numbers person, but not the connection person. And I said, well, organizationally, there's a lot of things here. And I don't do organizational or strategic leadership. I say I do common sense leadership, okay? So I said, well, who are the people on your team? What's their superpower? Have you told them that lately? Oh, no, I haven't. Okay, so the homework would be to either say it face-to-face or text it to them. Email, however you're going to do it.
However.
And it made such an impact because when was the last time, or when would they have ever gotten it? Yeah. When would they have ever gotten it? And then we start something called an evolving pyramid of how we get these people that, who do you trust here? Who do you trust here? And then we start creating a team of that. Stop trying to change the whole system all at once. It don't work like that. Ain't nothing ever worked like that.
At all.
Ever. So so I'm the leader. Who do I trust? Okay, now who do they trust? It's kind of off of that, those pyramid schemes they talk about. You get somebody, and then you get somebody, But now we got a group of people, and now we can work with these people who are already bought in. And eventually it expands to the point where the people who now we're speaking from a leadership standpoint, we're speaking your language, we're protecting you, we're building you, we're impacting you, we're influencing you, we're doing all of this, and we're doing this regularly. The negative Nancy's and negative Nicks eventually will leave. Or at least be illuminated. You'll see them so much easier, and they will look so different because the positivity has become commonplace. The building has become commonplace, and you're now out of place. So either get on or get out. And if you're burnt out or I say bored out, because sometimes we're not burnt out, we're bored out, and there's two different things.
They are.
They are.
They are.
Yeah, and maybe it's just time for you to go. It was time for me to leave the company that I had left because there was nothing that was going to get me back to my best positive state there. It had ran its course for me. I became a problem. I became a cog. I did everything that I'm talking about now wrong.
Or when you're I don't want to say the smartest person in the room, but when it's becoming so repetitive and so easy for you, which is kind of where I am now. I'm like, it's time to transition into something else, either into another department or completely out of the company. It's getting too easy. I know. I don't want to hold you all morning because I've been talking to you all morning about leadership. I love leadership. I promise you I do. I got a question. One final question for you. Say there's a person within an organization that has this mindset that may not necessarily be the supervisor, manager, or director, but that has this mindset where they're wanting to change. They're wanting to become better as an individual, whether within that organization or not. The idea is there that they want to be better. What, from a practical standpoint, what would probably be the first thing that you would suggest that they do?
Two things. One, I'll share from the company side, the business side at work, and then the other I'll share from the professional, the personal side. I call it the get great question. A lot of times people at companies, especially if you're an entry-level person, whether, maybe the mindset isn't that I can be more, do more, no more. And sometimes we don't know what more is. We don't even know our options. See, when you're on a team, a sports team, when I work with athletics, they know their option. The top spot is to start. I want to start. I want to be All-American, or I want to be Hall of Fame, or whatever it is. The options of what's next is very visible. Okay. Where when you're at a company, entry level or wherever, you don't know all the options available to you. And so you're going along with the school of fish you're at, So I call it the get great question. And it's along the premise of we have to make our coaches coaches. Sometimes we have to take responsibility for our leaders leading us because they can be so busy being busy, they're forgetting to lead. Okay? They're stuck behind the desk. They haven't walked around. They haven't talked to anybody. They haven't connected. They're busy. So you got to stop them from being busy. And if you're not willing to do that, then you're not ready. So being able to pull your supervisor, leader, whomever to the side and say this: I want to be great here, or I want more. I feel like I can do more. Can you help me? What is it that I need to do? And then we need to be quiet and listen. Okay?
Oh my God. Wait a minute.
So we need to be quiet and listen. Now, here's the trick. Here's
Oh,
the trick.
wow.
This is most likely what's going to happen. Okay? Whenever you ask that question, it's how and when we ask the question. We have to be prepared for, oh no, you're doing great. Just keep doing what you're doing. And that's bull crap. Okay? I'm going to say this is bull crap. Okay? And I'm going to say do this in every area of your life. You do it with your wife, your husband, your kids, your mom, your dad. It's always the same. We have to understand people. When you ask this get great question, I want to be great, or I want to be better, or I want to do more. Can you help me? What is it that I need to do? Most people aren't prepared for that question. Most people are busy on their way doing their million things to stop and give you a full answer. Most people don't, maybe they don't even trust that you can take their answer. So they pacify you. That's the leader's pacification, okay? So they pacify you. So if they do give you an answer, okay, great. You consume that information, and we don't go dukes up ready to fight. We don't disconnect. We process and consume and say, okay, is what they need from me reasonable, doable, and fair, and am I willing? And if yes, you do it, and you do it a bit past your comfort zone. Not so much that you wind up hating what you're doing, okay? So if they don't, and if they give you that random, oh, you're doing great, just keep doing, no. Listen, I'm really serious and I do want to answer. How about I come back and ask you tomorrow, or when's a great time for us to schedule a conversation, because I really want this answer, because I want to be great here. I want to make a difference here. Now we're allowing them and giving them permission. We're giving them permission to tell us some things that they don't think we can hear, or may be hard for us to hear. We're also giving them time to prepare a full thought. Okay? So if you ask this question, do not take the easy answer of you're doing great. I just did it yesterday with my wife. I love my wife. I said, I want to be the best husband I can be in the world. If I get hit by a bus tomorrow, you'll find somebody else, but you won't be like me. You know? So my question, what I said to my wife, I said, hey, listen, she's taking care of the baby a lot. I'm running, doing the business. She has her maternity leave, but I'm still working, you know? So I came to her and said, listen, what is it that you need from me today? Oh, no, I'm fine. No, I really want an answer to what specifically you need from me so I can be of service to you. I'm out there servicing the world. How can I, oh, well, when you come back, if you can give me like 2-3 hours so I can catch up on all of this stuff, that would be great. Done. Okay, now I got my answer. Now I'm off. And when I come back, I got you. So being able to ask the get great question. Now in your personal life, ask that get great question. Use it for your personal relationships as well, same process, but also those 5 points of the day. You want to do more, you want to be more. Maybe your job will do it. Maybe they won't. Maybe they'll stonewall you, maybe whatever. There's only so much we can control about that. But from a personal leadership standpoint, start consuming things that make you great. So when I get in the car in the morning, and my kids get in the car in the morning, I don't listen to the radio. I don't listen to the morning shows. We put on motivational videos. I would put mine on, but they're tired of hearing me preach. They don't want to hear it. My son is home. My sons are home for the summer. My daughter's home for the summer. I send things right to their phone. Instead of 20 minutes of reading, which I do want you to read, but we go to the library, all that. Here, I want you to listen to this video. Take 20 minutes and listen to this. Put this in your spirit before you get up and get on Fortnite or start your day and do that.
Hey, look, Fortnite is important.
after you do your motivational stuff, and then doing things to build you throughout the day. And one of the best things that we can do throughout the day, which most people struggle with. See, a lot of people, if you're a type A person, you might have a list. You got a list of the things you did. And what that list will do, it may make you productive, but more likely it's only going to make you busy.
It can.
So you're busy crossing things off. At the end of each day, if you want more, you want to be more, ask yourself this. Write it down if you need to. What's your biggest daily accomplishment? What was your big daily accomplishment for today? And do it every day, 5 days a week. 5 days a week out of your work week. It's amazing. Once you start going to bed with that answer, you feel a little bit more accomplished. You feel a little bit more ready for the day and eager because you feel like you beat the day. There was a big part of your day instead of you woke up, droned about, went to the job you didn't like, came back and did all of the things you have to do. Yeah. No, I woke up. I was inspired throughout my day because I did those 5 things throughout the day. Those 5 points for myself. I asked to get great questions. I did something. And then at the end of my night, I get to say, what was my biggest accomplishment of the day? And I have an answer. I have an answer, which makes every day purposeful, which makes every day powerful, what makes every day a possibility. You start doing that day after day, week after week, month after month, making a habit. How can your life not improve? How can you not start thinking about your life in a different way? So that's my answer from a personal standpoint and also from a professional standpoint. When we start doing that, you're going to evolve as a person, partner, parent, and professional. And it doesn't mean that you might leave that job. Some relationships might end. Some other things might happen. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm just saying it's going to be worth it.
I love it. That is a good place to end. That's right. That is a great, I have enjoyed this conversation. It has opened my eyes up on just a few other things, and some practical things. Like I knew it, but I didn't know it, type things. And it's in my forethought right now. And I like that.
Oh man. And I tell you the one thing, we talked about the 5 parts of the day. Like I don't want to minimize the returning home part, that 4th stage, that 4th part of your day. Because whether you liked your job or you liked all of that or whatever your definition of success is, when you come home, smile and realize this is where you've chosen to be. Mm-hmm. Just like your employer didn't wake you up at gunpoint to come to the job you're miserable about or frustrated with. Neither did your partner, hopefully. That'd be awful. Awful. So come home with a smile, understand what you need so you can fuel yourself up. I said, listen, I need 15 minutes. Give me 15 minutes to change my clothes or whatever. I need the gym 3 times a week. And then it allows me to rejuvenate and be super dad, super husband. Mm-hmm. So find quality, because what goes on at work is going to trickle on the home, and what goes on at home is going to trickle on in the work. So be conscious to make both great.
I just had this conversation with one of my managers. He's been married for a little bit less than a year. And so I was asking him about marriage and how it has changed him. But he's, not saying he's needy, but he's a little bit more clingy with his wife. And so he loves to have her there. But that's their relationship. Mm-hmm. And I was telling him, I was like, I would freaking go insane. I could not deal with that. Because I'm with you. Like, I need my space for a second. Like, I got to process. I got to get all of this work stuff off of me. Now that I'm home, because my home life is different and it's completely different. And so I was like, I love that you said that. And obviously that works for you and your relationship, but you're probably the second or third person that I've ever heard say that, that you need that separation. You need that time to just kind of, reflect, and collect your own thoughts and then go in to be that.
Now some people do it different. I was working executive coaching. God said, listen, I got small kids at home. Me just sitting down for 15 minutes ain't gonna happen. I need to take a shower because ain't nobody gonna come in the shower. So I just wash the day off me. So get what you need, but how you explain what you need. Look, I want to be the best for you and for us. And I have found that if I do this, I'm going to be better for you. Is this going to be good?
100%.
Because now I'm saying I want to be great for us, not selfishly, this is what's going to happen or this is what I need, deal with it. No. I want to be a great husband. I'm going to be a better husband. I'm going to be a better wife to you if I can come home and do this. And then I'm all yours. What you need, So
I don't understand. It's funny you said that about the kids thing there, and because my mother did it. Like, she used to suffer from migraine, so we knew when she got home, the first 20 to 30 minutes, it was don't talk to mom. Like, she had to go into a room, cut the lights off. Like, she used to really suffer from them quite badly. And I'm like, and I don't understand, kids now. Like, what do you mean you can't get away from your kids right now? Like, I don't understand.
Well, we've done a poor job of setting expectations, and whether it's at work or following through. I just put out a quote. You have to have a vision for your life, whether it's at home or wherever. But a vision without expectations is just hope. And expectations without consequences is merely suggestions. You know, so you haven't set you don't have a vision, or if you do have a vision, you're gonna be frustrated if you don't set up expectations that people understand, know, and respect, and they only respect it with consequences. So it's unfortunate, but that's people. That's how it is. Anywhere, any team, anything, any job, anything in your household. So, but we have to understand what other people need. I need that 15 minutes. I need the gym 3 times a week. My wife don't need that. My wife can walk in the door and steady talk about work and talk about anything and everything and just hit the ground running. My wife is OCD. What my wife needs, she needs time to clean and organize. I don't want to do that at all. But I need to
relaxation.
Yeah, but I need to be able to take my daughter and give her those 2 hours or so to organize her life, because the more organized she is, the more her mind can calm, and the more calm her mind is, the more I get of her. So I got it.
Yeah.
So we don't need the same things. That's fine, because we respect the needs of the people around us, whether it's going to be employee, partner, kids, or whatever. And we need to be curious enough, because sometimes it changes. You know, so
evolving.
I enjoyed talking to you. This has been fantastic.
One last thing. So I know I have the books. Can you confirm the website for me? And I'll make sure that I have it linked up.
It's youevolvingnow.com. So YOU evolvingnow.com. I always get it. Is it the letter U? There's an app. So if you're listening, I hope you download the free app. It's called YEN Push. So Yen Push. Now the notification.
Say that one more time. The app is called
Yen Push. YEN Push.
Gotcha.
You allow the notifications, and on Monday you're going to get a question of the week, and they end with, do you know your partner's answer? Do you know your kid's answer? And you can put anybody in that spot. You're going to get a video, my thought of the week, on Wednesdays. You get a vlog on Fridays. You get my personal quote on Saturdays, and then we do have dream leaders. So on my team, I partner with a health and wellness dream leader, male and female. We have a financial dream leader, because we want to complete the circle of you. So you'll get life tips throughout the month as well on Sundays. So download that, and I look forward to connecting with you. And I love doing what I get to do. So if I can make an impact, let's do something.
Yes, sir. Thank you again, Mr. Andre. Enjoy the heck out of this doggone Saturday. And tell everybody I said hi.
Thank you so much. You guys have a great day.
All right. Thanks, Andre.
All right.
Bye.